Hi, this is Multi-Fandom, and I am here to review the One Piece 738 chapter. This chapter was quite simple. I don't really know how much I'll have to talk about it, but, we'll see where it takes me. Pretty much, it starts out, it's a chapter about the dwarves, really, and them trying to take back their friends. Pretty much, this chapter starts out with, as I said, the dwarves, and Robin and Usopp outside of the room where the slug guy and that girl are. Their name escapes me right now. So it starts out with them, and they're still thinking of like how they're gonna go about actually doing this, what they're gonna do. Their idea is pretty much the girl who loves grapes, is always eating grapes. The idea of that they came up with pretty much is that they're gonna feed her a very spicy grape and have her faint, have her pass out, because the only way to change everyone back from toys and give the memories back of the people who were turned into toys is to knock this missus out. So they got to make her pass out, but they can't fight her because she has a toy fruit. I think that's the name. I don't know it in Japanese, but oh well. So she's a toy fruit, which pretty much means anything she touches, she can turn into a toy. Pretty good. So, ahead a little to, or we change scenery, I should say, to the dwarves that the other ones are actually trying to save, that are working at the Smile Factory, the devil fruit producing, the artificial devil fruit making factory. Pretty much, that's where they are now. That's where, some of the dwarves are that have been captured. And we see a worker. We don't know who it is. We probably won't, because I feel like he's not that important. But anyways, you never know. So we see the dwarves talking to this guy, and pretty much he's saying like, no, they're not even half ready yet. As you can see that because half of it has little design circle things that all the devil fruits have, and the other half nothing on it. So they're obviously not ready yet. And then he tips over the barrel wagon basket thing of them all and topples them all over. That's not really important. But then what he says to the dwarves that are captured, they ask, can we at least see our princess to make sure she's okay? And this is interesting because the dwarves are very gullible. They believe what they are told. A prime example of that is when Usopp told them he was related to Norlin, who came there 400 years ago and became their king or their idol or something. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So pretty much, and then the guy who is the worker, he pretty much says like, yeah, she's okay, but you need to keep making these to get better, for her to get better. So I don't know if the dwarves actually know what the fruits are being used for, or if they think that it's for the princess, because like I said, they're very gullible. And then we go back to Usopp, Robin, and the other dwarves, and they're still contemplating what to do. And Robin's just like, alright, screw this, I know what I'm gonna do. So she walks through the room and says to the slug guy that pirates are actually running rampant, or there's a fight or something in section 4, I think she says. And so the slug guy's like, alright, I'll go check this out. And so he sounds like he's very, very gullible too, as a dwarf. And when Robin takes the guy out, They leave. The dwarves pop in and say, "Alright, listen, we want our friends back. Give them now. Give us our captured friends back." And then the girl says, "You're underestimating how strong I really am." And then we see a bit of her strength when when some dwarves actually attack her, and then she does this whole thing where she actually turns them into toys. Black bear toys. And then, so they're suddenly toys. And then she says this thing that you will obey me, and you will obey all my orders to the death. And then all of a sudden, the dwarves that were turned into toys all of a sudden will obey you to our death. So she's very strong. You can't touch her, or she can't touch you. Destiny. So that's the reason why they have to knock out her. And then pretty much the dwarves who aren't toys are pretty much like, "Alright, well, what do we do now?" And then dwarves who are toys, are asking like, "Alright, we don't want to fight, please stop this." But the girl doesn't stop. She orders them to kill all the other dwarves. And Usopp isn't fighting because, well, being the liar that he was, he got himself out of it by saying, "If I fight, it'll be too one-sided." Yeah, like that'll happen. And then Usopp then stays behind. I haven't seen this, but he probably has. We're not 100% certain, but he more than likely has. And then we skip a bit. Well, we don't skip a bit, I should say. The girl who calls the slug guy on one of the transponder snails and says, "Alright, listen, it's a trap." And then the slug guy pretty much says like, "Oh, it's a trap. And then he goes to fight, picks it up, and then the pirates who were fighting say, "Listen, we've had up our end of the deal. Everything's good." And then the slug guy who realizes, "Wait a minute, this is a trap. What's going on?" And then he chases after Robin, and then he captures her or goes around her or something. I don't know. All I know is she's knee-deep in whatever the god he is. I'm not in the mood to find out. But she's knee-deep in him. And then all of a sudden she disappears. Boom, just gone. That's a very interesting ability. And so she disappears, and then the slug guy gets all angry like, "Oh my god, they're here, the Straw Hat crew." And he does this thing, he shoots something at a ship, and he says, "Sticky, sticky." I think it's cannon or something. And then he actually picks up the ship and tosses it into a wall, or, well, they're underground, into, so that was pretty interesting. And I guess next chapter we'll see a bit more of the Coliseum tournament, because like I said, this one was all just about the dwarves, and I'm really curious about what's going on in the tournament, but I'll talk more about that, when it comes up. And yeah, so that's all I have to say. This was Multi-Phantom. You can like and subscribe if you want, as I will be reviewing the One Piece episode 634, tomorrow or the next day, as it comes out tonight, or it's sub tonight, I should say. And yeah, see you all later.